The man inside the cryopod was suddenly jolted awake by an alarm. Before he could even react, his body was wrapped layer by layer by the AI system, locking him into a full EVA suit. The next moment, he was launched straight into space. When John finally came to his senses, he realized the ship had been hit by something. All the other sleep pods like his were being fired out into space as well. Some of them broke apart during ejection. Others, like John's, were automatically redirected toward the nearest planet. But debris was scattered everywhere, and many pods were destroyed long before they could reach any world. By sheer luck, John's pod stayed stable, pierced the planet's atmosphere, and began descending toward the surface. The extreme heat severely damaged the pod, and the AI lost control of the landing. Within seconds, the pod started spinning out of control. Seeing the ground rushing toward him from a few hundred meters up, John could only clench his jaw and brace for impact. Fortunately, the ground below was covered in sand. John survived the crash without any major injuries, but this planet's environment was brutal. Through the pod's viewport, he saw storms whipping up sand and rocks in every direction. John knew surviving here wouldn't be easy, so he quickly sent out a distress signal through the communicator. He waited for a long time and got no response. Just then, the pod began to shake and the system blared a new warning. The violent landing had damaged the structure, and the pod could explode at any moment. Helpless but with no choice, he grabbed the window breaker and smashed open the cryopod's glass hatch. But as John was about to climb out, another jolt hit. The pod shook again, and his suit was torn on the way out. Oxygen started leaking from his abdomen. In seconds, his oxygen level dropped to 42%. John quickly found a repair spray and sealed the tear as best he could. Even though he patched it up, half of his oxygen was already gone. Before he could even catch his breath, the pod's engine started smoking. John scrambled out of the pod. Now the question was, where could he even go? Before he could figure that out, he saw the main ship he had been on also descending onto this planet. It slammed into a nearby body of water, and the massive impact sent shockwaves across the surface. Luckily, he was far enough away not to be killed by the blast. But now he was truly stranded on a desolate planet. As John stood there lost in thought, he noticed a faint light flickering in the distance. He decided to take a chance and headed toward it, but after only a few steps, he stumbled upon another crash site, another pod just like his. Even better, when he climbed inside, he found an oxygen unit. But as soon as he pulled it out, he realized it was completely broken. It seemed his only hope was still that distant blinking light. So he kept walking, following the signal. He never noticed the strange claw marks scratched across the surface of his own pod. Pushing through the stormy desert, he finally reached the source of the light. It turned out to be a distress beacon, set up by one of his teammates. John rushed over, telling them his oxygen was already down to 42%. The teammates looked friendly enough and said they could share oxygen with him later, but they had something to finish first. While he waited, John learned that their crash was no accident at all. The space company had chosen a cheaper route to cut costs, and now they had no idea the ship had gone down. Even if they picked up the signal and sent a rescue mission,